It's been almost 10 years since the release of Clash Royale, and throughout its history, there have been some incredible moments.
You can call him the first ever Clash Royale World Champion. Snowball! 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 Oh, wow!
So today, we're celebrating the entire 10-year history of Clash Royale in just 10 minutes, starting all the way back with Supercell. Supercell is a mobile game development company from Finland.
We just wanted to build the best possible home for the best game developers. So there's just a great creative environment where these best developers could focus the thing that they love to do. And
They had been known for making some pretty basic free-to-play games, specifically Gunshine, but they wanted to do something that was a little bit more detailed than that by making a strategy game. So they started by making a little game called Clash of Clans. They made the entire game, which was incredibly complex, in only 6 months and released it on August 2nd of 2012. And despite a short development period, this game absolutely blew up. Within only 3 months, it became the most profitable app on the entire United States App Store. It was generating millions of dollars and literally printing money every single day. Anyways, Supercell wanted to, of course, continue to profit off of the success for as long as possible. So they started to build a spiritual successor to the game, something that was similar enough to Clash of Clans to keep the audience, but different enough to bring new people into the franchise. And thus, Clash Royale was born. Clash Royale was released globally on March 2nd of 2016, just 4 years after Clash of Clans took over the App Store. It combined a nail-biting tower rush strategy with a fun collectible card game. And plus, it was free to play. And who doesn't love free things? Anyways, at launch, there was a total of 48 different cards for players to battle it out with, and here are all of them on the screen. But of course, if the game only had those cards for the rest of time, people would get bored. So Supercell decided to start adding new cards to the game pretty quickly. In fact, by the end of 2016, they already had a whopping 70 cards in the game, adding over 20 new cards in just a few months of the game being live. Then on September 19th, they added a tournament mode, which allowed players to play against others in real time. And at the end of the year, they finally added clan chests to the game, which gave players a reason to actually get online and play the game, so they could earn crowns for their clan and get those sweet, sweet rewards. 2016 was a huge amount of work for the Supercell team rolling out Clash Royale, but I think it's safe to say that it was well worth it, considering that they made over $600 million just in the first year of the game being out. Heading into 2017, there was a huge anniversary update in March, which added leagues to the game. On top of that, this anniversary update also included one of the most beloved features added to the game, which was the addition of 2v2 mode. The next year in 2018, we would see the introduction of Clan Wars. This was the first of many efforts by Supercell over the last decade to create a more competitive environment in the game.
It just sort of made sense in the world. Like, if you're going to be battling, you should battle in a new clan arena.
So with this update, clans could go up against other clans from all over the planet, and of course, this came with the opportunity to earn war chests. That meant that the clan chest everyone knew and loved was now gone forever, but replaced with something that was equally good, or in my opinion, much better. That being said, people that weren't happy about that update quickly forgot about it, because in 2019, Supercell would introduce Trophy Road. Trophy Road gave the free-to-play gamers an opportunity to gain extra rewards, and it definitely made the game feel a little bit less pay to win, and it's honestly my favorite part of the entire game. In addition to this, Pass Royale was added in the game in July of 2019, and as the name implies, this update implemented a battle pass system. At launch, this pass only cost $5 a month, and it had a ton of rewards. And while it wasn't free, it was way less money than other battle passes at the time, and it had pretty good value for the rewards that you would get. Obviously, over time, the battle pass has increased in price, and I'll let you guys debate down in the comments below whether or not the battle pass is worth it. In 2020, Supercell decided to do a major overhaul to Clan Wars, and it was so big, in fact, that they decided to call it Clan Wars 2. Clans now sail down the Special Clan River in their Special Clan boats to earn special prizes. Come on, guys, it was really special. And people weren't exactly pleased with this update. A lot of the longtime fans of Clash Royale thought that this would benefit the casual players. It also made the game much more pay to win than it ever had been. because instead of needing one well-leveled deck, you now needed 4, which meant people that wanted to have 4 good decks would either have to play for a ton more hours or spend a ton more money. And this was a huge hit for the Clash Royale community. Keep in mind, this time in 2020 was at the height of the pandemic, and people didn't have anything to do other than sit in their rooms and play video games. So to have such a disappointing update at this time definitely made the game take a hit in its popularity. But that would change in 2021 when Clash added some changes that people actually liked, specifically adding more magic items. These things gave players a fast pass to upgrading their cards, and it also gave players a little bit more control over what cards they received. There were 4 magic items added at the time: Wild Cards, Book of Cards, Magic Coin, and Chest Keys. Later that year, another widely approved update came out, which added level 14 to cards and also added the Champion's Rarity. This was the first time that a new rarity had been added to the game since launch, and people loved that there was a whole new level of cards to go after. In 2022, there weren't a ton of huge changes to the game, and Supercell mostly focused on the aesthetic changes this year. They added battle banners that everyone could customize. You could change the frame, the decoration, and display 3 different badges that you could earn from playing the game. This edition also came with a profile redesign. You could choose even more badges to show on your profile, and it displays your most recently used deck, so people could screenshot it and complain to their friends that they were getting abused by an overpowered deck. You know, stuff like that. 2023, however, wouldn't be so simple, as one of the most controversial updates in the history of Clash Royale would come in the form of card evolution. This update was released in June of 2023, and it notably added level 15 to the game. This new level was seen as a huge cash grab because it was basically impossible to get your whole deck to level 15 unless you're like me and spent a ton of money doing that. When this mechanic was announced, a ton of people were excited. I mean, everyone loved evolution in Pokemon, and surely this wouldn't be much different, right? Wrong. Instead of upgrading your cards through love and friendship like in Pokemon, you mostly just have to use your parents' hard-earned money and steal their credit card. I'm not supporting that, by the way. If you wanted to buy all 4 new evolutions at launch, it would cost you a whopping $100, which is insane for any game, but for a mobile game, that was basically unheard of. And not to mention, these evolutions were completely overpowered, and to this day are still pretty insane. If your opponent had an Evo card and you didn't, you might as well have just left the game altogether. So this was basically seen as a huge cash grab, as Supercell was basically making people buy things to keep up with the competition. The community was so fed up with the game that any post from Supercell on social media was flooded with negative comments of fans begging them to change the game back to what it was. But over time, there were rebalanced items, and people learned to play with new mechanics to counter some of these Evo cards. However, with a bad taste left in people's mouths, a lot of players decided to leave the game entirely. In an attempt to save the community, they thought about what people loved the most, like the 2v2 update, and they added a 2v2 league into Clash in November of 2024.
You call those cannons?
It was a limited time game mode that allowed players to gain trophies. And although I haven't talked about all the limited time game modes in this video because I didn't have time, I wanted to mention this one because it was loved so much. And at this point, you need to celebrate good things that Supercell does because there's not a lot of them. Hopefully, however, they'll do this again in the future because it was incredibly well received. Now, in this year of 2025, Clash seems to be at an all-time high. So with some of these really crappy updates, it begs the question, why is the player count hitting new records? And the answer is one guy. His name is Jinxie. Perhaps the funniest Clash content creator of all time, Jinxie is one of the biggest streamers on the planet, and he fell in love with the game over the last year. And while Jinxie is hilarious, he definitely didn't single-handedly carry this game. There's also a bright and lively competitive scene where players like Mohamed Light, Morton, and Riley dominate the game all the time. In fact, Clash Royale has one of the biggest competitive scenes in all of mobile gaming. That being said, there isn't a ton of content covering it, which is part of the reason that I wanted to create this channel. channel. As a self-diagnosed Clash Royale addict, I'm super excited to share all of the things I love about Clash Royale with you. I'll be doing weekly documentaries about players, content creators, game updates, characters, and so much more. So if you guys love Clash Royale as much as I do, please do hit the subscribe button. I know there was a ton of information missing in this video, but I had to do it in 10 minutes, so it is what it is. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!